reviewed pretty much every 8-inch tablet that was released in the last couple of years. I'm NJ from mynexttablet.com, and here are the best 8-inch tablets you can buy right now. Before we start, as I said, I reviewed pretty much every 8-inch tablet except for one, and I will get to that one later. You can find my reviews in the description below, and there you can also find a link to mynexttablet.com, where we've got a list with the currently best 8-inch tablets out there. So even if you're watching this video in a year from now or even longer, you can always find our current recommendations in that list in the description below. The best 8-inch tablet you can buy right now is the Apple iPad Mini 5 that was released in 2019. It has a 7.9-inch screen to be exact, but that's very close to 8 inches, right? As I said, the iPad Mini 5 has a 7.9-inch IPS screen and it has an aspect ratio of 4:3, which is not ideal for movies, but which is a very nice aspect ratio for reading websites with or to read books with and so on. It has a resolution of 2048 by 1536 pixels, so it is a very sharp screen. It also is a very bright screen with 500 nits, and it is brighter than every other 8-inch tablet I reviewed. Inside runs an Apple A12 Bionic processor, which also means that it is the fastest 8-inch tablet you can buy right now. It is supported by 3GB of RAM, and you can choose between 64 or 256GB of storage. In my standard battery test, it lasted 12 hours and 15 minutes. For this test, I'm always looping an HD video locally at medium brightness and activated Wi-Fi, and that goes for all of my reviews. The iPad Mini 5 does have a metal body and it does feel very high-end. However, it does not look very high-end because it has the same old iPad Mini design with pretty big black bezels around the screen. So it does feel very high-end and it is very well built. It just doesn't look as modern anymore. It still has a lightning connector, but it also still has a headphone jack, which is a positive thing. Below the screen is the Touch ID fingerprint sensor, which works fantastic, and you can use the iPad Mini 5 with the first Apple Pencil, so the original Apple Pencil that you can also use with the iPad Air or the standard iPads. And the Apple Pencil works great, of course, but you've got to buy it separately. The iPad Mini is running iPadOS, including all the standard features of iPadOS. You can connect a mouse by now, there's great multitasking and a Files app, of course. The iPad Mini 5 is the best 8-inch tablet you can buy right now. Its only real downside is the design. It is very well built, but it does look a bit old. Sadly, there's no premium Android tablet right now that I can really comfortably recommend. The next best one, which is a premium tablet, is the Huawei MediaPad M5 which is a bit older, and the Huawei MediaPad M6 which I did not review because you can only get it in China or through import shops in most countries at least. So I did review the Huawei MediaPad M5 and even though it's a bit older, it is still the fastest 8-inch Android tablet you can buy right now. And it does have many premium features. For instance, it has a very pretty 8.4-inch IPS screen with a very high resolution of 2560 by 1600 pixels. Inside the MediaPad M5 runs a Kirin 960 processor. This tablet used to be the fastest Android tablet you can buy for quite a while until the Galaxy Tab S4 was released back then. If you're getting the MediaPad M6 which has the same screen and the same body by the way, you will get the Kirin 980, which is a bit faster chip. The tablet has 4GB of RAM and a 32, 64 or 128GB internal storage. In my standard battery test, the runtime was 11 hours. We're getting a full metal body here which feels very high-end and it looks much more modern than the iPad Mini 5. It also has a USB-C port and 2 pretty good speakers. There's no pen support though. It does have a fingerprint scanner which sits underneath the screen. The MediaPad M5 is running Android 8. Yeah, as I said, it's a bit older. I don't think it will get any major updates anymore. And the MediaPad M6 is running Android 9, but because of this whole US-China trade war thing, you won't get it with any Google apps. You can install some of them, but Google is actually not recommending that. I'm not sure how secure that is. So the Huawei MediaPad M5 or the M6 which I did not test, these are the best premium Android tablets you can buy right now. But again, they are a bit older, so I would strongly suggest you to check out the iPad Mini 5 if you're in the market for a very premium tablet. The next tablet on this list is the Samsung Galaxy Tab A 8.4 2020, which I did not review yet. I'm only putting this on this list to make this list complete. It hasn't been announced for the rest of the world yet, only for the United States, and that's why I haven't been able to order it yet. It does promise an 8.4-inch IPS HD screen, Full HD screen, and an Exynos 7904 processor, which places it in the middle class. It has 3GB of RAM, 32GB of storage, a very modern design, and it is running Android 9. Again, I didn't review it yet, but check out this channel and mynexttablet.com because chances are I have reviewed it by the time you're watching it. And yeah, it looks very promising, and it is certainly next up on the list as long as there's no huge issue with it. The next tablet that I can super comfortably recommend, I really love it, is the Samsung Galaxy Tab A 8.0 with S Pen. That's the SM-P200 or P205. Sadly, this tablet with S Pen has been only released in a couple of countries. It hasn't been released in Europe and it hasn't been released in the United States, which is really sad because when I reviewed it, I really enjoyed using it. It has an 8-inch IPS screen with a Full HD resolution of 1920 by 1200, and it is a pretty nice screen. It's running an Exynos 7885 processor, which is a decent middle-class chip that is supported by 3GB of RAM and a 32GB internal storage. Nothing for high-end gaming, but certainly for mid-range to low-end gaming. The battery life is not that amazing. It got 9.5 hours in my standard test, and it does have a full plastic body, but it is quite well built and it does have a USB-C port, no fingerprint scanner though. The S Pen is included out of the box, you don't have to buy it separately, and it works very well as we are used to from the S Pens from Samsung. It supports all the standard S Pen features that Samsung has been including in their UIs. It is running Android 9 out of the box, and I'm sure it will get an update to Android 10. Usually the Galaxy Tab A tablets are getting 2 updates, but I can't promise anything of course because I'm not Samsung. Yeah, this is really one of my favorite 8-inch tablets. The S Pen works great, but yeah, sadly, chances are pretty high that you won't be able to get it easily. The next tablet that you might not be able to get as easily depending on where you live is the Huawei MediaPad M5 Lite 8, which is a mid-range 8-inch tablet that was only released in a couple of countries like India, Thailand and so on. It has an 8-inch IPS screen with a Full HD resolution of 1920 by 1200, and it's a pretty nice Full HD screen. It's running with an Kirin 710 processor, which is very similar to the Exynos I mentioned for the Samsung tablets. You can get it with 3 to 4GB of RAM and with the 32GB to 64GB storage. In my standard battery test, it got a runtime of 11.5 hours. I like that we're getting a mostly metal body here, it feels quite nice, but there's no fingerprint scanner unlike with the standard MediaPad M5 8 without the Lite. It is running Android 9 however out of the box, which certainly is a plus point compared to the higher end M5. I think the MediaPad M5 Lite 8 is a great alternative to both the Samsung tablets I mentioned. If those are not available in your country, it's a nice mid-range tablet. The next tablet on this list is the Lenovo Tab M8, which I really enjoyed. It's a lower end to mid-range tablet, but it's a pretty nice 8-inch tablet. You can get versions with an HD screen and with a Full HD screen. I reviewed the HD version, which is a bit cheaper. Both have an 8-inch IPS screen, and again the HD version has 1280 by 800 pixel and the Full HD version 1920 by 1200 pixels. The HD version has a MediaTek A22 processor, which is okay for low-end gaming, and you can play PUBG Mobile and so on, but only really with the lowest settings. The Full HD version has a bit better P22T processor from MediaTek as well. You can get versions with 2 to 3GB of RAM and a 16 to 32GB storage. In my battery test, the tablet performed very well with 23.5 hours. It does have a metal body and it feels very high-end, surprisingly high-end, almost similar to an iPad mini, even though it is much cheaper. So the build quality of this tablet, it's much better than what the price suggests. It is running almost pure Android 9. It's pretty much vanilla Android. There's some minor customizations that you can throw away though. You can deinstall or deactivate them. Lenovo has been releasing usually one update for the higher end tablets in the past. Since this is a cheaper tablet, I'm not sure if this will get any updates. So overall, this is a great mid-range to low-end tablet, and yeah, I really enjoyed using the Lenovo Tab M8. By the way, It has a wideband level of L3, which means you couldn't watch Netflix in HD resolution, but since the screen is so small, I don't think that's that big of a deal in this case. Next on the list is another Samsung Galaxy Tab A 8.0 SMT290. It's an 8-inch Android tablet, but it's a lower-end tablet that's similar to the Lenovo. It is noticeably weaker than the S Pen version or than the 8.4-inch tablet that was announced in the United States. It does have an 8-inch screen, but only with an HD resolution of 1280 by 800 pixels. It is running a Qualcomm Snapdragon 429, so again, this certainly is not a gaming tablet, certainly not a high-end gaming tablet. It has 2GB of RAM and a 32GB internal storage. The battery life was pretty good with 13.5 hours in my standard test. It does have a mostly metal body, but it does not feel that high-end because the frame is plastic, but yeah, it's fine, the build quality is okay. It is running Android 9, including the One UI from Samsung of course, and as I said in the past, the Galaxy Tab A tablets usually have gotten 2 big updates, and there already was an announcement for this tablet to get Android 10. Again, I'm not speaking for Samsung, I can't guarantee you that it will get any updates, but based on the past, it should get around 2 updates. So it is a decent mid-range to more lower-end tablet. It's not amazing, but it's fine, and again, you probably will get 2 updates. The cheapest 8-inch tablet that I can comfortably recommend is the Amazon Fire HD8. It is in general the cheapest tablet that I can comfortably recommend. It costs under $100 and under €100, and for that it offers quite a decent screen and quite a decent performance. So I think if you don't have that high expectations and just want a very simple tablet, then this is a pretty good choice. The Amazon Fire HD8 has an 8-inch screen. It's an IPS panel with 1280 by 800 pixels, so it does have an HD screen, not a full HD one. Inside runs a 1.3 GHz MediaTek quad-core processor. Amazon doesn't say what it is. It is okay for low-end gaming, certainly. It does have 1.5 GB of RAM, which is quite low, of course. And actually, there's no possibilities of having real multitasking. You can't open 2 apps side by side with this tablet. It does have 16 to 32 GB of storage, and my battery test was pretty good with 14.5 hours. Now it does have a full plastic body, and it does feel cheaper than the other 8-inch tablets I mentioned here because of that, but it is well built, and Amazon says it is very robust, and it does seem very robust, but it does not feel high-end of course. It is running Amazon's version of Android, which means you've got fast and direct access to all of the content from Amazon, including Prime Video, Audible, audiobooks, and so on in their Amazon App Store. However, that also means that the Google Play Store, including YouTube, Gmail, Chrome, are not pre-installed. You can install them yourself. It's a bit of work, and I wouldn't recommend your grandmother doing it alone unless she's very computer savvy. And yeah, you can install those, and I always install the Google Play Store on my Amazon tablets. But there are some reports that Amazon gave towards a German newspaper that it might warrant your warranty. So yeah, you will be responsible for installing the Play Store yourself. As I said, it's the cheapest 8-inch tablet that I can comfortably recommend, and I think it's a great tablet that you can just throw in the back seat in the car for your kids and so on, because yeah, it is very cheap. Alright, this has been the best 8-inch tablets you can buy right now. If you have any questions, please write them in the comments below. And again, check out the link in the description to mynexttablet.com, where we've got an updated list with the best 8-inch tablets. Even a year from now, you will always see our current recommendations on that list. I'm Andrzej for mynexttablet.com. Thanks for watching and see you next time.